Okay, I've always been a sucker for a new phone case, and I've also always been a sucker for Peak Design products. So when I heard that Peak Design was launching a new mobile ecosystem, including a new phone case, I had to get one to try it out. So here are my thoughts after using it for a couple months. Now I should mention I'm not being paid by Peak Design to say any of this, to make this video. I did already reach out to them though, before making this. So if you're watching, come on guys. And this video is for the case only. There's a whole mobile ecosystem that is built upon this case, but I just specifically want to talk about the case itself here. And you can buy this on the Peak Design website for $40. I have the iPhone 12 mini version because I have an iPhone 12 mini, but they're $40 on Peak Design's website. So starting off with the packaging, it's minimal, it's clean, it's environmentally friendly, just like you'd expect from Peak Design. You get the case and not much else. You get a couple pieces of paper telling you how you're helping to save the environment. That's great. And pulling the case out, it's very nice. It's not quite denim material, but it's that same weatherproof material that we've seen across the Peak Design bags, which I love. I'm a fan of it. I have to say that I like this denim fabric material more than leather, rubber, or plastic, which is what you'd find in most other phone cases. And I've used several other denim types of cases in the past, and this by far is my favorite. And the fact that it's recycled and it feels so good and it feels durable is just a huge win to me. The outer edge has kind of a rubber bumper around it, and it's more of a matte kind of feel, not really a soft, squishy rubber. It is bendable, just a little bit pliable, but it is a nice feeling, kind of a tougher rubber feel, which I enjoy. It makes the case feel a little more premium. And just overall, it's not super bendable. It's pretty rigid. Most cases these days tend to have some kind of flex to them. So the fact that this is pretty rigid, I mean, it barely bends a little bit. You can kind of see. It's a very high quality feeling case. And that was kind of one of the first thoughts I had when I first opened it up, is just that it feels very durable and firm. It's a pretty hard case, which is nice. Also around that outer edge is the Peak Design logo, just imprinted above the power button. Very subtle nod to their brand, but I love it. I'm all about that minimal branding. Now, putting it on the phone itself, it's a little bit of a chore. Since it is such a stiff, rigid case, it's kind of difficult to get the hang of when you put it on. So what I like to do is stick the button side in first for my volume buttons. And then you're gonna get a nice crunch when it goes in. Like that. It kind of feels like the phone is half breaking and the case is half breaking. But it's solid. It's on there really well. And once the case is on, it feels very good, actually. It feels very minimal. You don't have that like flimsy, cheap, flexible case feeling. It doesn't add a lot of bulk. Still extremely thin, keeps the phone nice and slim, keeps a good profile on it. And the case just feels like it's part of the phone. It's meant to be part of it. It's extremely slim and good feeling. Button placement is not bad. And this is probably my biggest complaint with the case overall, is the buttons. Because it's kind of this durable rubber material around the bumpers, around the edges, the buttons are a little harder to press. So you'll notice when you first get the case, it might take you a couple tries to really figure out how to get it seated properly so that the buttons actually press and they don't mush down. That's why I put the volume side in first, because there's more buttons there to cover as opposed to the power side. But once it's on right, sometimes it takes a little bit more effort to push the buttons than you'd like. So you might have to pull the case out and put it back in to get it seated. But once it's on right, it does have some bit of clickiness, and I'll let you take a listen. See, not bad. It's kind of a muted, squish, rubbery button feel, but overall, not horrible, but also not my favorite part of the case either. The volume switch, if you're having an iPhone model, is perfect. I have kind of big, fat fingers, and there are many cases I've used in the past that I just cannot get at that thing. If the case is thicker, I basically need like long nails or something to like get in there and flip it. But this one, my entire finger actually fits in there and I can actually reach it. So that is perfect. The cutout size is not too big, not too small. You'll also notice that when it's on the phone, there's a slightly larger chin at the bottom. That's because there's actually space down there. There's a cutout meant for the Peak Design anchors. So with the case off of the phone, you can thread a little anchor through the bottom of either of those holes there on the left or the right. and that will give you the ability to attach this phone to other Peak Design ecosystem products. Then you get this little attachment point, and you can use it with a Peak Design leash so that you can keep your phone attached to your wrist, or attach it to like a backpack or a bag if you have a Peak Design bag. All kinds of different options, but that is cool that it's on there. But if you don't want to use this at all, there's like it doesn't take that much bulk at the bottom of the case. Honestly, you kind of forget that it's there, so it's not like taking up a ton of extra room if you're not going to use this feature. So just pull that off, and then you can forget that that space is even there. One more last thing that's nice about this case is that when it's on your phone, the camera cutout on the back does not have a bump to it, which is great. Some cases do. Some are so thin that there's still that camera wobble, so you can place it flat on the table, front or back, and not have any kind of wobble. The front is padded around the screen so it won't damage or scratch your screen, and the backside, the lenses of the camera don't touch the table either, which is fantastic. Okay, now let's talk about the main feature, which is this obvious black square on the backside of the phone. That is the mounting point, the attachment point for the entire ecosystem of products. And basically what it's meant to do is kind of complement what Apple's trying to do with the MagSafe system. So this is an entire magnet array within the case itself. So you can magnetically attach things like a wallet, or attach it to a phone mount, or put it on your bike. And this square kind of gives you an extra bit of security. So many of the attachments are strictly magnetic, but there are things like bike mounts or motorcycle mounts. If you want to actually like attach your phone and do something crazy like move around, you kind of want more than a couple magnets holding your phone on for security. So it's actually a little locking system in there. And if you could get inside and look, there's like little divots underneath so that these mechanisms from these components can actually go in and they lock. They physically lock. So you got to press a little button to unlock it and pull it off. Just an extra layer of security, and very nice to have something like this. I know there's many other cases and different ecosystems out there that use this same kind of philosophy, in my opinion, in a lot of uglier applications. And some of them are just bulkier and cheaper cases. But this, I think, strikes the perfect balance between perfect functionality and then perfect design and perfect minimalism. And I like it. At first, I wasn't sure if I would like that little square, but I think with the functionality that it brings, it's totally worth it, and you kind of forget about it. Plus, it's kind of fun to have a little cutout on the back of your phone. It's kind of like a little fidget toy. And as a side note, this also works alongside MagSafe. Like I mentioned earlier, it's meant to work kind of the same way. So if you already have like an Apple Wallet or a MagSafe charger or anything else that you've already been using with your iPhone, it will magnetically attach and not interfere in any way. It works the same way, so pass-through charging works. It's meant to complement it and works just great, which is awesome. Because quite frankly, these magnets in here are much stronger than the magnets in my iPhone or in any other Apple product case that I've used. So this thing will stick to my refrigerator, it'll stick to my toolbox, it'll stick to the side of my car if I want to play music outside. Like, it's awesome. It just sticks to everywhere. It's awesome to just have a phone case that'll just stick on, and it's much stronger than the magnets that I've seen in the Apple cases. And like I mentioned earlier, this case retails for $40 on their website. And right now it's only available on the iPhone 11 series and higher, and the Samsung Galaxy S21 series and higher. If you are not one of those phone owners, but you still want to experience the benefits of this case, there is some good news. There's what's called the universal adapter that they sell for $30, which is essentially just this bottom half, the piece with the magnets inside and this square, and it adhesively sticks onto the back of your existing phone or your case. So it will give you the functionality of the case without the entire case itself. Not as pretty of an option, I think, because it's still this material. So depending on your phone and the case, you're just going to have like this gray square on the back of it. Not as aesthetically pleasing of an option, but it's still there if you wanted to try it out without getting an entirely new phone, which is nice. And you're not losing any functionality out of it that way. So that's kind of a win-win. So what do I think? Honestly, I think this is probably the best case I've ever owned. Like I said, I've owned a lot of different phones in the past. I've owned a lot of different cases in the past. Every kind of material out there and just all different price points. To be honest, I think this strikes the perfect balance between price, style, and functionality and protection, right? Those kind of go hand in hand. but you want to not go broke when buying a case. $40 is not bad. That's kind of a middle ground. For that dollar amount, you get a fantastic feeling, fantastic quality case, and it also works incredibly well with the magnets and the whole ecosystem, mount system. It's fantastic. I don't know what else to say. This is just such a good case. Yeah, even on the inside, there's quality control. The same fabric is on the inside of the case with the Mobile by Peak Design info, your serial number in there. And because it's a Peak Design product, you can register it to your Peak Design account. And if it breaks for any reason or gets damaged or destroyed, they'll replace it 100% free, no questions asked. It's a fantastic company that will stand by their promise, and I'm just always happy to be a customer of theirs. So super excited about this case. But let me know what you think. Go check out the links to their website below. Give this case a try. Maybe you're one of the few people that have picked it up already, because it just came out not that long ago, like 6 months ago maybe. And I've been seeing a lot of popularity growing around it. So let me know what you think. Want to hear your comments and your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.